Good evening everyone and welcome to Summer of Thunder 2019. We are here for the Formula Race Room Junior Series of RRLeagues.com. This is the first race of the season, the first stream of this season, and I'm Miguel Santiago Carao and I will guide you through this race today. First off, let's have a look at the details of this series. As you can see, it's season 30 at RRLeagues.com, and this Formula Race Room Junior Series goes all the way through the summer and is part of our Summer of Thunder compilation of a racing series, which we'll touch on a bit later as well. On the left you can see all the tracks we will be visiting in this series, a 6-race championship. First off, today we are at Mid-Ohio, the Chicane layout, which we'll see in all its glory in just a moment. In 2 weeks' time we will go to Falkenberg Motorbahn, then we travel to Silverstone, the Nürburgring, Brands Hatch Indy, and we end the season on the 24th of July at the Hungaroring. We have a 15-minute qualifying session, which will take place at in about 14 minutes. That will start 15 minutes of qualifying. Then we have race 1 and race 2, 20 minutes and 40 minutes. You can see also the in-game settings, or the server settings. On the right we have a reverse grid of the top 10 for race 2. We also have a tire multiplier of 3x, so that means that the drivers will be trying to manage their tires for this series, especially in race 2. There are no mandatory pit stops, so everybody is free to try and make their strategy work and get to the finish line in first position. So that's it for our series overview of season 30 Formula Race Room Junior, and that's exactly the car that the drivers today will be driving. It's a no aero formula car, single-seater, 145 brake horsepower, 545 kilos, rear-wheel drive, and as I said, no wings. It's described on the Race Room website as an entry-level single-seater, a great way to step into the world of open-wheelers. It's a very distinctive look, as defined by a lack of any aerodynamic devices, such as front or rear wings. It may look like a rookie car, but we will see tonight that it's far from that. It's a perfect car to learn proper racing technique, and what you learn from here will scale up to the higher classes. Now, RRLeagues.com doesn't host too many open wheeler series, but for this summer we chose this free car, by the way, so if you want to join us, you don't need to buy any cars for this series, just the tracks that we mentioned earlier. And then on to the drivers of this series. There are still some spots open, as you can see, but we have Clive Britton in the number 3 car, we have Kalsi in the number 7 car, number 5 is Ben Reynolds, Steve Carman in the number 12, Smedegaard in number 14, and David Kochurek and Callum Morgan in the number 9. The number 10 has no drivers signed up yet. And we have Stefano Merazzi and Hermans in the number 18 car. Klimchak and Meisner in the number 20. Vanger and Fernandez in the number 22. Ukic and Fillingham in the number 24. Vlastimir Lucas and Greg Metcalf for DH Racing in the number 30. Colin Barker and Noel Kahn in the number 32. Paul Fenwick in the number 27, and Radek Pavlacek in the number 38. By the way, if you want to follow Radek's on board of this race, there is a link. I will put it in the comments right now of our stream. So if you want to check out an onboard already right now during practice, go to his stream and take a look how it feels to be inside of a Formula Race Room Junior car. So these are all the signed up drivers. Not all drivers are currently on the grid yet, we will see that in a bit, but all the drivers are right now in the driver briefing, which is held by our admin Simon Fillingham, and they're getting all the ins and outs of racing at RRLeagues and how to behave on track for these races. Of course we have our rules that have to be read, but for every race we have a driver briefing where we will mention any specifics about the track. We will mention what is expected, the key rules to follow during the race, and any specific track any specific notices that the drivers need to account for. So for example, the pit entry, pit exit lines, where they are, what to do when rejoining the track, etc. And for example, the fact that we use the gentleman rule, so if you hit someone while trying to pass, then it's custom at RRLeagues.com to let that person pass again, and you will not get that harsh of a penalty. The first lap of every race is also stewarded. Any incidents during the race can be submitted in the next day to the stewards, and then they will have a look. So RRLeagues.com is a very friendly community with, as we will see, faster and slower drivers. So there is something here for everyone. Let's first have a look at the circuit for today, which is the Mid-Ohio chicane layout. So it's Mid-Ohio with a chicane between turn 1 and the keyhole. So turns 2 and 3 is that chicane, which makes it extra difficult. It's already such an iconic track, very tricky as well. It's a real roller coaster ride with enough challenges for even the most experienced drivers. Blind crests, as we will see, and technical sections will bring excitement and passing opportunities for sure in these cars. Main passing opportunities will be turn 6 after the long back straight, but also into turn 1 if one makes a mistake, and that will be one of the keys today, not making any mistakes, which will be very, very tough around this track with these cars with no aero. Before we dive into the practice times and having a look at the driving, we have to present our Summer of Thunder series, which I already touched on in the beginning. Every season we have 4 championships. Our first championship is the Crew Chief DTM 92 Championship, BMW versus Merc Championship, which started on Sunday and had a great opening race with 33 drivers getting to the track. There is also a stream available on our YouTube channel from that race with commentary by myself and my fellow admin Simon Fillingham. So check that out. The series is fully subscribed, but if you really want to join, you can always sign up as a reserve driver and fill in any spots. There is a place for 36 drivers on the grid of this epic series, which already gets to Act 2. So we already ran this series a couple of months ago, and it provided some epic racing, so that's why it's also sold out, let's say. There are also some VRP prizes on offer, and our sponsor for that series is Crew Chief. So take a look at those streams if you can't race with us. Then we have the Season 30 Formula Race Room Junior. That's our meal for today. And then on next Sunday, our Summer Slam is starting. That's a special series for the summer, which will use 6 different cars in 6 different circuits to determine who is the most versatile driver, and it also gives us the chance to use some lesser used cars in race room. Those were 3 race room series, and then as a season 32 we have the Flat 6 series in R Factor 2, which will start next Wednesday, so in 1 week's time, with a 45-minute races and also 6 rounds to complete our Summer of Thunder series. So enough rambling about what is going to happen and what we have on offer for all of you sim racing heads. Let's have a look at how the drivers are doing. We currently have 12 drivers that have set a lap, but I think we have a bit more on the track. We have 15 drivers on the track at the moment, or on the server at the moment, and it's Tony Ukic who is at the top of the field at the moment with a 135.3, very closely followed by Magnus Smedegaard, a new driver to RRLeagues, and then in 3rd position it's Tony Ukic's teammate Simon Fillingham. Radek Pavlacek is in 4th. We have Steve Carmen in 5th, and then Greg Metcalf in 6th, Sven Hecke in 7th position, Colin Barker in 8th, Clive Britton in 9th, Ranjiv Kalsi in 10th position, Paul Funwick in 11th, 12th is for Ilya Fernandez, then Ben Reynolds, Vlastimir Lucas and David Kochka. So the drivers finishing up their practice session just before the qualifying session, 15 minutes, 4 minutes to go in this practice session. And as you can see, the cars are looking great, and the racing will be fierce for sure. One thing to note, looking at the leaderboard times, we have Tony Ukic at the top of the leaderboard times for this car track combo with a 135.2, so just a little bit faster than he is going here so far today. And then, well, if you look up the leaderboard, I will also paste that in the comments of the stream. If you go to that leaderboard, you will see that almost all of the drivers there, for sure at the top, those are all RRLeagues drivers like Ralph Varela, Magnus Smedegaard, Greg Metcalf, Simon Fillingham, etc. So a very tightly packed field. Times are not too close at the moment, but times will come down for sure, and it will be a case of who can set that blistering lap time during the qualifying session with low fuel load and a good lap. So Tony Ukic at the moment finishing up his practice laps. Also Radek Pavlacek, as I said, you can follow his onboard on his stream. Let's see if we can ride with him on the front bumper as we go across start finish. Take a very short break, and I will be right back with you for the qualifying session at Mid-Ohio Chicane for the opening round of the Season 30 FR Junior Series. So there we go for the first qualifying session of this championship. All the guys storming out of the pits, and who is out of the pit first? Here is in second. Pavlacek just coming out of the pits, so it's quite a short lap, 1.5 minutes in these cars, and a real challenge as they try to warm up their brakes and their tires on this outlap and get a good clear gap on the road to not get distracted, especially in the very tricky second and third sectors here. So as from here with Radek braking after the back straight, it's a roller coaster ride, up and down, left and right, and very difficult to make a mistake or to get a wheel on the grass and lose heaps of time. So I don't think I will be wrong in saying that the driver that keeps it clean for this race will have a good chance of being on the podium for sure. So let's see what kind of lap time Tony Ukic can set here today as he goes through turn 1. It's the apex, and then it's not straight, but there's a right, left, right chicane here. Flat out into the first apex, and then trail braking through the chicane, and then trying to get the best exit possible out of the keyhole onto the long back straight. This is the fastest part of the track, and also where we will see some passing opportunities. Then braking at the 300-meter board, getting it turned in, and then back on the power, throw it in to the left in second gear. And you need to keep your minimum speed up through this section and get your gearing absolutely right. And then here, try to go flat out until you brake for this right-hander over the crest. Once you see the exit curb, you get onto the throttle and you can go here for this difficult braking zone. This last sector is very tricky. This last corner, very late apex, closing radius turn. We want to a bit further to the right, I think, to get a good exit onto the main straight. 1:35.4. It's not too far off of that top leaderboard time of a 1:35.2, so that will be a time to beat. Julio Fernandez 1:38.4 at the moment, and this will be the perfect time to also mention that we have some different championships, championships running in our series. We have a drivers and a teams championship, of course, but we also have a Ironman championship, which will just count all of the driven laps by all the drivers and discount any race winners. So any driver that does not take a race win and has driven the most laps, has finished the most laps at the end of the season, becomes our Ironman and gets the Ironman trophy. This means that several drivers can take this trophy at once. Most of the time it's only one person who can claim that victory. Next to that, we also have an AMP Cup, which drivers that are new to RRLeagues or that haven't got any podiums in their RRLeagues races before will be entered in, and it's just run next to the main championship. So these guys will get points for their finishes and will battle it out in their own kind of championship. and we have 13 drivers subscribed to this AM Championship, which are Steve Carman, Noel Kahn, Josh Gasser, Stefano Merazzi, Frederik Hermans, Paul Fenwick, Frederico Svanger, David Koczurek, Clive Britton, Petr Klimczak, Dennis Meisner, Ben Reynolds and Ranjiv Kalsi. So 13 drivers that are eligible for this AM Cup at the moment. Maybe some more will come, and that's also something to look out for. Tony Ukic's time still stands at the moment at 35.4, and Magnus Smedegaard is the one closest to him, only 1.5 tenths of a second behind him. Simon Finningham puts himself into third position, but 8 tenths clear of Tony Ukic, so he has some work to do. Estimir Lucas 1 second off the pace at the moment, but running a green first sector, losing some time in sector 2. So as I said, it will be key to string a good lap together, string those 3 sectors together to get a good lap in and get far up the grid. And of course, these cars not having a lot of downforce makes it tricky, but it also makes it a bit easier to closely follow the drivers in front, unlike in Formula 1. So that will mean that the driving, the racing will be close during the race. David Kochka in 12th position at the moment, but improving, so 1.3 seconds up in the first sector. Now into the second sector here. Also up on the second sector, so he will improve from his 12th position. He was almost 5 seconds off the pace, so he will most probably improve. Takes a second off of his time, but he stays in 13th position, 4 seconds off the pace. Tony Ukic then purple sectors, so Willie set a new world record leaderboard time in this session, as we saw also in our DTM 92 series on Sunday. The new world record around Zolder in the DTM 92 cars by Janko Blavac. Crossed the line in a 1:35.265. We look at his leaderboard time, and he's unlucky because his leaderboard time is a 1:35.264. So 1,000th of a second he missed to get a new top time. But Tony Ukic very much the pace setter here. Everyone else is trying to get as close as possible, but the only one really managing that at the moment is Magnus Smedegaard, Simon Fillingham, Radek Pavlacek, Vlastimir Lucas. They are all around the 1 second mark. And then we have Steve Carman, Greg Metcalf, Clive Britton, Ben Reynolds around the 2 second mark, and Paul Fenwick, Colin Barker, Hugo Fernandez 3 seconds off the pace in this qualifying session. And of course, as you all know, as Magnus loses it here after the long back straight braking. As you know, it's one thing to set a blistering qualifying lap time, it's another thing to keep it on the track, especially around Mid-Ohio for 20, and then in the second race 40 minutes with a reverse grid. So will be a sight to see with 15 drivers on the grid today. Who can get in that top 10 and claim maybe pole for the second race. It might be someone who's not that experienced with starting at the front of the grid, because the times here are quite spread out. So as Clive Britton dives into the pits, and gets ready for a last attempt, I think. One important note is that when the timer hits 0, so in 4 minutes and 40 seconds, the session is over, so the drivers cannot change or cannot finish their laps. So it's important, if you still want to set the lap, to do it now. Ranjiv Kalsi, 10 seconds off the pace. That's a big margin here on this track. So let's see if he can get a bit closer. He was not too far off the pace in Sector 1, so did have some scruffy Sector 2 and 3s to get away with that lap time of 1:45. So let's see if he can improve still in this session. Tony Ukic then not, he is on his outlap. Let's see what he can do. If you have any questions about the stream, about this series, about RRLeagues.com in general, or about any of our other series, feel free to post in the comments, and try to have a look at it, and we'll try to give you an answer on that as soon as possible. 3 minutes to go. Colin Barker is in 10th spot at the moment, but he is improving. Second off in the first sector, coming up to the timing line for Sector 2. Pavlacek onto the grass and a spin. As I said, Pavlacek filling him, getting a bit closer within that 1 second range, but not really taking the fight to Tony Ukic yet. Let's have a quick look where everyone is at the moment. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Tony Ukic just started in his fast lap here to end the session. And these guys here very closely, very close to each other. Won't help the lap time, of course, or will it? Vlastimir Lucas across the line. Keeps his 5th spot, 1.1 seconds behind Tony Ukic. Magnus Smedegaard getting closer to Tony Ukic, only 1.8 tenths off, but he will want to set a blistering fast last lap, and it's not looking like that is going to happen. He's off the pace in Sector 1, so unless any of the top 5 pulls something very special out of the bag, this first pole position of the series is for Tony Ukic. Let's see who can still finish their laps. I think Kalsi will be too late to cross the line. 1.5 minutes to go, but everyone until Colin Barker will still get a chance to set a new lap time. Tony Ukic across the line, and he did not improve, so a 1:35.265 is the time to beat. When we get to Smedegaard, he comes into the pits. Still some guys improving. Colin Barker will come across the line, also coming into the pits, so nobody is going to beat Tony Ukic today for the qualifying session. 1:35.265 for Tony Ukic on pole position. Magnus Smedegaard in 2nd, Radek Pavlacek in 3rd, and it's Simon Fillingham, Vlastimir Lucas and Greg Metcalf. Steve Carman is in 7th, and Clive Britton in 8th position. So that means that Steve Carman is the lead car in the M class, if I'm not mistaken, and we will try to follow that up during the race as well. So we have a 50-second countdown for the race start, and let's hope the guys can keep it clean in that first lap. That will be monitored, of course. So very important also for the quality of racing that the first lap is clean, because if everybody makes it through that first lap cleanly, then the pack stays nicely bunched up and the racing always gets better, especially with a 15 driver grid today, which is not bad, but there are some sign-ups that didn't show here for the race today. As we get onto the grid, Tony Ukic is on the left, so on the outside for turn 1 he will want to get a good start to stay in front of Smedegaard as we go green, and Radek Pavlacek goes for the middle. Has a good start and he gets into first position, started in 4th position. Fillingham here is in 4th next to his teammate Tony Ukic. So Ukic is in 3rd, Simon Fillingham in 4th, and Pavlacek and Smedegaard had a good start. Now it will be interesting to see if Tony Ukic can reel those guys in during this 20-minute session. In the back we have Clive Britton all the way at the back, so he had some kind of incident. Vladimir Lucas is also having some side-by-side action with Ben Reynolds. But, keep it clean for now. Duro into the 2nd sector here. Vladimir Lucas and Ben Reynolds. Sven Hecke and Emilio Fernandez also very close to each other. Regis Kelsey making it up to 30 at the moment. This nice train here at the front of the pack as we finish lap 1. Pavlacek in 1st, Smedegaard in 2nd, Ukic in 3rd and Fillingham in 4th. Very close to each other. Also Metcalf and Lucas are Metcalf, I must say, is at the back of this pack. The gap to Lucas is a bit bigger, so we have a top 5 battle. Oh, as Pavlacek loses it on the grass and slots him back in 4th position. So now it's Smedegaard in the front, and Ukic is challenge here at the back of the back straight. Also Fillingham looking at a possible pass on his teammate. Smedegaard turns it in and keeps it very, very tidy. So good race debut, race start in his debut at RRLeagues.com for Magnus Smedegaard. Still that top 5 very closely together. Can Vladimir Lucas close down the gap and get closer to these guys? So a quick look at Lily Kochka together with Steve Carman. Very nice battle, and quick look as well at the AM Cup standings. Ranjiv Kalsi now at the top of that leaderboard for the AM Cup. Yes, indeed. So Ranjiv Kalsi was off the pace in qualifying, but now he is leading the AM Cup. Let's follow that up during this race. From Ukic now really challenging Smedegaard for the second race, for the second lap in a row. A bit of a gap behind that top 3. Tony Ukic going for the inside here. Smedegaard keeping it together with late braking on the ideal line. It looks like Simon Fillingham has some pace in the back. Oh, Smedegaard goes a bit wide. Can Tony Ukic go around the outside here? Now he's on the inside for this turn, and he takes the lead. Very nicely done by Ukic, retaking his pole position. Want Simon Fillingham to get back past as well. Be a bit of a stopper for the field. Now let's see if Tony Ukic has some big pace advantage over the field, or if he needs to keep looking into his very small rear view mirrors. Having a look a bit further down just for a moment, David Kochka, Steve Carman and Clive Britton are on one piece of tarmac, it seems. They're all following Ranjiv Kalsi. It's a bit further up the road. Fillingham now really challenging Smedegaard from the front bumper. Let's see. Ukic has a bit of a gap, almost 1 second now. Simon go for the inside line here. No, he doesn't. He brakes well. Smedegaard loses it, it seems. Yes, he's on the grass. So unfortunately losing it on the turn-in. Getting a bit too wide in his defensive move, I think. Smedegaard back down to 6th position. Very unfortunate, leading the race in lap 2. Now down to 6th position. Let's see what he can do with Colin Barker. So we have our top 6 who are all pro drivers, PRO drivers as we would call them. Then we have Ranjiv Kalsi, Ilya Fernandez in the AM Cup. And then Greg Metcalf, Radek Pavlacek, they had some kind of issue, so we missed that, but they are trying to crawl their way back up the field. As we have Sven Hecke in the pits. I think he has retired the car. Let's have a quick look. Yes, he did. So one retirement already here in this race, which is Sven Hecke. So now we have the RRL Motorsports guys, Tony Ukic and Simon Fillingham at the front. Vlastimir Lucas, he was in 5th at some point, but not making any mistakes, puts him into 3rd position with a 5-second gap to Fillingham right now. So we want to try and pick up the pace if possible to get close to these guys, but he's in a bit of a lonely place at the moment. Ben Reynolds and Colin Barker, they're not lonely, they are only 4/10 apart and battling for 4th position. Ilya Fernandez and Greg Metcalf also battling it out, and it's Greg Metcalf getting in front, so making the pass on Elio. Now he will have his sights set on Ranjiv Kalsi. Let's follow Greg Metcalf, the wingman, for a moment. Not the best sim racing perspective, but gives you a good view of how these cars are handling, how narrow those tires are, and the lack of grip that they have at some point. Really sliding around quite a lot, these guys. And Greg Metcalf, as we can clearly see, really reeling in Ranjiv Kalsi at the moment. There's a 7-second gap to the front. Here's Magnus Smedegaard, and getting past Greg Metcalf. So disappeared for just a moment. I hope Greg didn't have to see that, so everything with the connection is fine. Let's hope that eager to get onto the power. Quite late there on the power. That's a pass made for back to the front. The battle for P4 is heating up between Ben Reynolds, Colin Barker and Magnus Smedegaard after his mistake has joined this group. Of course, he just went onto the grass, no damage for him. Nobody is showing damage at the moment, and looking at the lap times, last lap time for Tony Ukic was 1:35.8. His closest contender, Vlastimir Lucas, sorry we missed that, is a 1:37.1. So clearly Simon Fillingham here is just in front of this group, so he just had an issue. Sorry, I missed that. So this becomes now a four-way battle for the podium. Magnus Smedegaard is the one putting the pressure here on this train of cars. Let's see what he can do. Ranjiv Kelsey setting good pace in the AM Cup. There's quite a gap over Clive Britton. Is he also in the AM Cup? Yes, he is. So it's first position for Ranjiv Kelsey, then Clive Britton, and then Steve Carman is a top 3 in the AM Cup. So status after 10 minutes of racing, Tony Ukic with an 8-second gap over Vlastimir Lucas. And as I said, Vlastimir, as far as I could see, didn't make any mistakes yet, and he's there in P2. So maybe not the fastest lap times from him, but consistent and mistake-free is really what you want in these races. Also worth a mention, Clive Britton currently in P10. Paul Fenwick is 13 seconds behind him, so that would mean at the moment that Clive would start from P1 in the second race. Simon Fillingham looks to have a bit more pace than the 3 guys behind, but especially Magnus looks like he should be able to pass Ben Reynolds and Colin Barker. Have a quick look at the drivers here. I think those are teammates, if I saw that correctly. Colin Barker, no, sorry, he's in the team with Noel Khan, so that's not an issue. Driving different liveries as well, of course. So if you are enjoying the stream, let us know. If you have any questions or suggestions, let us know as well in the comments. Some good racing here for the opening round of the FLJ Championship. This 3-way battle for 4th position now is looking very nice, and as you can see, Smedegaard now in the middle of this group, so he made the pass on Colin Barker, and has his sights set now on Ben Reynolds. Unfortunately, the cockpit cam doesn't seem to be working, but let's try it like this to give you a bit more of a perspective on the speed these cars are doing, and the suspension at work here at one of the toughest tracks of this season. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to Falkenberg. Oh, as we have side by side, Colin Barker and Magnus Smedegaard. Colin Barker on the inside line now. Can he repass Magnus into turn 1? But he slots in back behind. Metcalf is closing in on these guys now, as well as Radek Pavlacek. They both got past Ranjiv Kelsey as Magnus tries to go around the outside into the chicane, but he's on the inside now for the keyhole, and he makes the pass. Stakes of P4 for Magnus Smedegaard, and a clear track in front as the 2 guys behind tangle, almost tangle, onto the grass there. Ben Reynolds. let's see who blinks first, will we? For the braking after the long back straight. We keep Colin Barker in 5th position. There's also a battle heating up for the AM Cup. Let's have a quick look. Ranjiv Kelsey has a 10-second gap in front of him, but Clive Britton here is steadily closing the gap of 1:43 last lap time for Ranjiv, a 1:38 for Clive, so he is looking to be a lot faster. Let's go on board with him as well. As the logo, racing logo keeps coming back, sorry for that. This is essentially a battle for the lead. Ranjiv goes a bit wide. Now, does he get it stopped for the last turn in time? Because making a mistake in that second to last turn causes you to sometimes make a mistake into the last one as well. But he keeps it tidy. The pressure is on for P1 in the AM Cup. Steve Carman is 17 seconds back. But, oh, Ranjiv goes a bit wide. Let's have a quick look. He is on the outside and loses the position. So it's Clive Britton now taking the lead for the AM Cup. As I was saying, Steve Carman is 17 seconds behind, but anything can happen. These are not all inexperienced drivers, but not having taken any podiums in their RRL career means that sometimes they could make a mistake more often, and one mistake can easily lose you about 5 to 10 seconds. As Steve Carman gets closer. Oh, Ranjiv lost his concentration there after getting past, it seems, and losing time, as I said, and the gap to Steve is now only 7 seconds. So with 3 minutes to go, this race is evolving very quickly, and there's a lot of action to look at, but everything seems to have settled down at the moment. Closest battle at the moment is Greg Metcalf versus Radek Pavlacek. Also Ben Reynolds and Colin Barker are very close, but we have Tony Ukic in the lead, 11 seconds in front of Vlastimir Lukas. Last lap time 37.3 for Ukic, 38.5 for Lukas, so Ukic clearly has some pace in the bag. Simon Fillingham in 3rd, Magnus Smedegaard, as we saw, back up to 4th position. Colin Barker, Ben Reynolds, Greg Metcalf and Radek Pavlacek. And then I think Paul Fenwick, is he also? Yes, he is also in the AM Cup, so we have our Pro and our AM drivers divided. We have Clive Britton in the lead, Ranjiv Kelsey in 10th position. That will mean that he will take the pole position for race 2. Will be maybe a scary moment, this second race or first event at RRLeagues, and already starting from pole position. Also worth a mention, this is Tony Ukic's first league race in race room racing experience, if I'm not mistaken, so that is going well for him. Pavlacek now getting ever so slightly closer to Metcalf, but we still see a pass here as Tony Ukic is now on the back straight. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, so we have still 2 laps to go in this session. Gap between Ranjiv and Steve is now 6 seconds, so the key here is to not make any mistakes. This is the closest on-track battle Can Radek take P6, P7 away from Greg at the final stages of this race? Getting very, very close now. I unfortunately don't have any experience with tires on these cars, but there is a 3x multiplier on them, so we'll have to see if the next race, which is 40 minutes, so double the fun, will be including a pit stop or not. There has been some talk about that on our forums, so we'll have to see what develops there. That will be a good learning also for the rest of the season. Seems like Ben Reynolds is right in front of these guys, dropping back a little bit from Colin Barker. So on to the last lap. It's a three-way battle for P6 with Ben Reynolds in the front, Greg Metcalf and Radek Pavlacek. Clive Britton still in the lead of the AMCAP, and Ranjiv Kelsey and Steve Carman now only 2 seconds behind. So Ranjiv really wants to keep that together for one more lap. Reynolds getting a very, very tight line into the keyhole. Now onto the back straight. Can Radek make a pass? Once again, I will mention it. In the comments there's a link to the onboard stream from Radek, so if you want to follow him in onboard in Formula Race Room Junior, as Ben Reynolds tries to go around the outside, or Greg, sorry, tries to go around the outside. Can't seem to get it done. It's a very tricky corner to go around the outside. It looks inviting, but it's not the ideal line. So let's stay with this battle at the front. It's Tony Ukic taking the win, followed by Vlastimir Lucas and Simon Fillingham. Getting very close here now for the finish. We'll look at the finishing order in just a second. Also Steve Carman 1 second behind Ranjiv Kelsey. We'll go back to that in just a moment. Radek Pavlacek has to stay behind Greg Metcalf, it seems, so that's the end of this race. Let's have a quick look here at the battle for a second spot in the AMCAP. Into the last sector for Ranjiv Kelsey. It looks like he will be taking, almost going wide, looks like he will be taking second place in the AMCAP. Or will he? Let's have a look. Steve Carman doing everything he can, but it's Britton, Kelsey, Carman for the podium of the AMCAP. Here is our race winner for race 1, Tony Ukic for RRL Motorsports. Very well done in his first race, a gap of over 10 seconds, showing good pace, but he lost the lead in the first lap off the line, and starting from 10th position will not be easy. Of course, he will have a 40-minute race to try and get back to the front, but that will for sure not be an easy task. So here are the final standings. Tony Ukic, race winner and fastest lap, and a pole position, so that's a hat-trick for Tony Ukic today in race 1 of this championship. Tony Ukic, Vlastimir Lucas and Simon Fillingham complete the podium, and Smedegaard was in 4th position. Now we dive straight into race 2, so no rest for the drivers, just a 1-minute countdown for race 2, getting their setups ready, doubling their fuel counts, and maybe setting up a pit stop for tires in the middle or near the end of the race maybe. Didn't really spot any issues with tires in this first race, but times were dropping at the end, so I think we will see a pit stop for tires, which brings another aspect of strategy to this race. Who will pit early, who will leave it until the very last moment, and will have good tires at the end of the race. It's all here to see in this second round. We have Ranjiv, we have Steve Carman on pole position. Ranjiv Kelsey is not on the grid anymore, and off we go. Steve Carman followed by Radek Pavlacek, and Pavlacek takes the lead again into turn 1 as we keep it clean in turn 1. Oh, there's Ben Reynolds off into the grass, unfortunately, but he gets going again. So Radek Pavlacek takes the lead. Now Steve Carman as the first M driver behind him, and then he has Clive Britton, Greg Metcalf, Simon Fillingham, etc. behind. So strategy for Radek should be to get the hell away from that group as fast as he can, but that's easier said than done, of course. And Reynolds in last position has a 5-second gap to Magnus Smedegaard. So quite some guys, quite some pro drivers there at the back of the grid at the moment, so it will be nice to see them moving through. Let's see what that brings. Nice train of cars here. 40-minute race on our hands, so completely different mindset to the 20-minute race earlier, which was just a sprint race. Go as fast as you can. As we already finish lap 1 of this race, we have Pavlacek in first, Carman in second, Metcalf in third, Britton in fourth, Fillingham in fifth, and Colin Barker, Elio Fernandez, Tony Ukic in 8th position, Vlastimir Lucas, Smedegaard, Fenwick, and Ben Reynolds. Only 12 drivers unfortunately taking to the start of this second race. Let's hope that was unintentional for the 3 missing drivers, because they are missing one heck of a race for sure. Tony Ukic, let's have a look here. Getting close to Elio Fernandez. He's on the inside here for the braking into turn 6, sorry. Looks like Elio has some straight line speed advantage over Ukic, who bites his time. It's a long race, but he will want to get past as quickly as possible. Better traction here out of that turn, and a small collision. And once again they touch, so real wheel-to-wheel action there between Tony Ukic and Elio Fernandez. Oh, Elio's going to spin. Yeah, lost it on his own, and Ukic helped him around a bit further. Unfortunately, we have Ben Reynolds coming up here. He gets past safely, so well done, and let's hope Elio can get it going again into the right direction. Carman keeping it in second spot. 1.5 second gap already to Pavlacek in front, so the guys behind will have the ambition to take the fight to Radek. They want to get past Steve Carman as soon as they possibly can, but of course that's a very easy task. The American has proven to be difficult to pass in previous races, although he has not taken any podium set yet. He is therefore in the cup. Vlastimir Lucas between Tony Ukic and Magnus Smedegaard, so 2 very, very fast drivers, as we could see in race 1. So let's see if they can make their way through the field. Britton has a spin, yeah, and Paul Fenwick has retired the car, unfortunately. Clive gets it going again at the moment. And Tony Ukic really putting the pressure on Colin Barker. Let's have a look onto the curve there on the outside. Very tough. Looks like Tony Ukic gets the job done, and he's into P5 already. Smedegaard is in 8th at the moment. He will want to follow through as soon as he can. Here we see Pavlacek going through the first corner, so everybody is still very, very closely together until P9 is only 11 seconds, P8 is only 6 seconds apart. So this is looking very close as we already finished 5 minutes of this race. Once again, if you have any questions about the stream or different racing series at RRLeagues.com, any other questions, sim racing related, of course, also in the comments, and get back to you as soon as possible. As you can see, there are still some spots here open for this series and our other series as well, so feel free to go over to RRLeagues.com or our Discord channel or our Facebook page and get in contact with us to get racing in a friendly community, which today, or yesterday, sorry, we got our 500th member on the forum. Big slide for Colin Barker. Keeps it quite clean, but I see also Radek Pavlacek dropping down the order, so he lost his first spot. Steve Carman is also to 3rd, but so there was some kind of incident there. All hell breaking loose here on the track. Tony Ukic is now in 3rd position, and he has Greg Metcalf and his teammate Simon Fillingham in front. Greg with almost a 2-second gap here in the front. So let's see what he can do. Looking at the AM Cup, let's see. Is Ben Reynolds doing AM Cup? I would not know this is. So Ben Reynolds here, the leader of the AM Cup, followed by Clive Britton and Elio Fernandez for the podium. Colin Barker is not he's winner even, if I'm not mistaken. So the top 7. The top 7 is covered by 3 seconds only, let's say 4 seconds. So very, very close there for that incident. And sorry if it was on the screen and I missed it. 2 screens to look at. So big welcome to our 10 viewers here for this stream, which is a good start for this series. If you have any suggestions, let us know. But I think the racing speaks for itself. Even without commentary, this stream will be quite fun to watch for sure. Magnus Smedegaard has the pace, we would think, so let's see what he can do. Has been at the back of the whole pack that is battling for the podium spots. So can he make the pass on Pavlacek, for example? And we have Metcalf in the front. Metcalf is one of our regular drivers at our RRLeagues.com, and is notoriously difficult to pass. These cars, of course, could prove otherwise, but in a GT car, Greg is very tough to pass. So I'm sure Fillingham, Ukic, Carman, etc. know that, and they want to put the pressure on as much as possible in the 31 minutes that still come. These Lucas and Carman are side by side. And almost a spin for Carman, keeps it on track, but he falls down to P7. And Lucas up to P4. Fillingham is able to keep the gap to Metcalf at about 1 second. And Tony Ukic is following him very closely. I wouldn't be surprised if they think about the team and maybe let Tony go and hunt, let him hunt Greg down. I'm not sure if that's an option at this point of the race so early, but they might be thinking about that at RRL Motorsports. Still the top 8 covered by 8.5 seconds after 10 minutes of racing. Let's see if Fillingham would let Ukic pass here on the back straight. I think if he doesn't do that now, then we know that the race is on, and they will battle it out like real men for a second spot in this race. Pavlacek and Lucas battling here. Ukic also looking at the inside line, but not making the pass, and also Pavlacek staying in 5th position. Small bump there by Pavlacek, but no harm done, no front or rear wings to bump off, so that's a plus in these cars. If you like the stream, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We will be streaming the races in this championship, so 6 races every 2 weeks on Wednesday. We have Formula Race Room Junior, and then on Sundays, last Sunday we had the opening round of the Crew Chief DTM 92 series, some epic racing on 33 driver grid, so subscribe to the channel and you can follow that action unfold live with commentary. Last week we had a 2-man commentary team. Let's see if we can keep it that way for the coming races. So still Fillingham and Ukic closely following each other. Ukic going a bit wide there, but still within 1 second of Greg Metcalf, so Fillingham really matching the pace of Metcalf at the moment. Looking at the AM Cup, Steve Carman is in the lead of that in P7, followed by Ben Reynolds 2 positions back, 14 seconds behind, and Clive Britton in top spot, 5 seconds back from Ben Reynolds. Simon getting closer, so it seems Tony Ukic has dropped off a little bit after that off-track excursion, and now Simon can focus on getting close to Greg Metcalf. Also here behind, it's incredibly close, even closer than for the lead. Let's keep an eye on that lead battle, will we? 2 groups of 3 cars, and Smedegaard really pounding up the pressure on Radek Pavlacek. Let's go on board with Smedegaard, see what he can do, where he can make a move, where he has potential to be quicker than Radek around this Mid-Ohio chicane layout. This here is a key place, key spot on the track to get a good exit and get as much speed as you can onto the back straight. This is where we saw passes being made, but this is not close enough at the moment. Fillingham 3/10 behind. And side by side now, going around the outside. Can he keep it there? Oh, he has to slot in back behind. Very unfortunate. Will Tony take advantage of that now over top 3 within half a second? So if you're doubting, should I join this championship? Yes, you do. It's absolutely worth it. Absolutely great racing. here in this series for the lead after 15 minutes of racing, half a second covering our lead drivers. As we said, Greg is very difficult to pass, doesn't make a mistake that easily. So here we are, sat behind Greg, all of us. And then to round up the top 6, we have this three-way battle also within more or less half a second, with Vlastimir Lucas in front, Radek Pavlacek behind, and then Magnus Smedegaard at the end of that group. Steve Carman, leader in the AMP Cup, is only 2.5 seconds away, so doing very well after starting from pole position instead of Carlsen. Once again, Simon getting very close there after the back straight, but not being able to make the pass. So in 4 minutes we will reach the race 1 race length. Having a look at the lap times. Last laps are very close, all of them. Metcalf is the slowest of the top 5 at the moment. Oh, Simon Fillingham, sorry I missed that again. Dropping down to P6. Small off-track excursion. Don't know if there was any contact. You guys probably saw it. And down to P6 behind Steve Carman. So that puts Tony Ukic behind Greg Metcalf. Magnus Smedegaard makes it into the top 3 now. So lots going on here. Radek Pavlacek and Vlastimir Lucas down to P7 and P8. They have time to recover. They still have time to recover. The thing to look at now will be Smedegaard. Will he close the gap to the leading pair, or will he keep his car there? Carmen, AM Cup leader, will at the moment he is in 4th overall, so a very good race from him. Not making any big mistakes is what you really want. Metcalf is the best at that at the moment in this race, and he's in 1st position. As I was saying, he is the slowest of the leading group, so he really wants to pull all of his defensive tricks out of the bag and keep Tony Ukic behind. These two drivers know each other from previous championships, so there will be lots of respect, but hard battling as well. Smedegaard closing down the gap already by 1 second. Let's have a look at the last laps. 38.9 for Metcalf, 38.7 for Ukic, 37.9 for Smedegaard. So he, with clean air, there is some pace to be found for sure. Steve Carman, he is in the pits, so pitting for tires here. The leader in the AM Cup. Let's see if that was a good call from him. Let's see if Tony Ukic can force a move on Metcalf. He is on the inside. Can Greg brake late? Not late enough. Can Tony get it stopped? Yes, he can. So Tony Ukic takes the lead after starting from P10 here in this race. And we are halfway through the race. Can Greg keep Tony honest? Let's see what happens there. We also have Pavlacek and Fillingham battling it out. Fillingham dropping down to P6. Pavlacek putting the pressure on him. Carmen has pitted and has come out still in the lead of the AMCAP, so that might have been a good call to retain track position, pitting quite early, but he has his pit stop already underway, and he knows he can make these tires last for 20 minutes, a bit over that. And we have Fillingham also diving into the pits. Now that will be interesting to see how this strategy of pitting in the middle of the race will pan out. Tony Ukic getting a bit of a gap now already to Metcalf, so he has the pace. Fillingham gets going again, so a normal pit stop for him. He drops down behind Steve Carman and Clive Britton in the AMCAP, so he has his work cut out for him for sure. Magnus Smedegaard also closing down the gap to Greg Metcalf, so he wants to try and get up or onto Greg Metcalf as soon as possible and get past him, of course. I will be right back. So the leading trio in the pits. Tony Ukic gets it stopped, Smedegaard gets it stopped, and Greg Metcalf gets it stopped. Let's see. Ukic with a very fast stop. He gets going already. It's Metcalf coming out in front of Smedegaard once again with a very, very fast stop by Tony Ukic. He really gained a lot of time there because they were about one or 2 seconds apart. But now Ukic has a nice gap here. Colin Barker is in first position at the moment. He did not pit yet, so when he pits we will see him dropping to his normal position. Pavlacek also didn't pit yet, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, I heard there is a crash. Colin's also showing some damage, so let's hope he can get it going and get it to the pits. This is something that happens more often. This was probably his in-lap to go into the pits and trying to fiddle with the settings of your pit stop while on track, especially with these cars. He lost his front nose. Yes, Colin Barker has no front nose, so limping home to the pits, and he is off the track. So well done by Colin there. So he can get his car repaired. Smedegaard and Metcalf is the battle for effectively P2 now. Steve Carman is right in front of these guys, sliding around in the Castrol livery. Tony Ukic, looking at his last lap time, he gained 6 seconds on the guys behind. So either he had the perfect pit stop, or he has taken a lot less fuel if they even took fuel. So if he took less fuel, let's hope he can make it to the end of this race and not run out of fuel. We saw that on Sunday in the DTM series. I think 4 or 5 drivers stopping their car on the last lap as they did not take enough fuel to end the race. Steve Carman in front of these guys. on pace, and Smedegaard now passed Metcalf already, and he will want to hunt down Tony Ukic as soon as possible. If he gets past Carmen, he has a clear patch of road ahead of him. Pavlacek is still in front, but quite sure he still has to pit, or maybe he will want to stay out. There are no mandatory pit stops in this series, so Smedegaard getting past Carmen, and Carmen let him go. Looks like it really let Greg go as well. Steve here battling for position. He's in the lead of the AM Cup, but he can battle these guys no problem. There's no reason for him not to do so. He's in P4 right now, so he will take some good points in the main championship as well. And good strategy goal, it seems, so far for him. His closest contestant is Ben Reynolds. He's more than half a minute behind. So Steve Carmen is looking like the man to beat here in race 2 for the AM Cup honors. Ukic now with a 135.6 in the last lap. Pavlacek 136.5, so 1 second off. And then Smedegaard with his 37.2. So that gap is growing at the moment. Smedegaard is 12 seconds behind Ukic. Let's see if Metcalf can get past Carmen here on this lap. Having a look on the inside, but no move on there. Working for the chicane. Greg is in front. Can he keep it tidy through the chicane? Yes, he can. So he makes the pass on Steve Carmen and gets the job done. 135.299 for Tony Ukic on the last lap, so almost equaling his qualifying effort. Smedegaard with a 36.2, so 1 second off, but a very quick lap time nonetheless. It will be very tough to catch Tony Ukic here in this race with 12 minutes to go. Go through the order of the race. Right now it's Tony Ukic, 7-second gap in front of Radek Pavlacek. Magnus Smedegaard is in 3rd spot, 12 seconds back. And it's Greg Metcalf, Steve Carmen and Vlastimir Lucas. Simon Finningham is in 7th, followed by Ben Reynolds. He is 2nd in the AM Cup. Steve Carmen is in 1st. And Colin Barker in 9th position. Clive Britton is also in the AM Cup. He is in 10th position. And then we have Fernandez and Fenwick, who have retired from this race. Everything settling down at the moment. The closest battle is between Carmen and Greg here. Greg just got past, so that gap will probably start growing. Smedegaard closing the gap a bit to Ukic, but that's not the case. He is, however, closing the gap to Pavlacek. 135.8 for both Ukic and Smedegaard on the last lap, 136.8 for Pavlacek. So, and also a 136.7 for Vlastimir Lucas in 6th position. So he's on the pace as well, and trying to get as far up the order as he can. Still, even if the on-track battles have calmed down a bit, well, it's to be expected after half an hour of racing, but still, these guys will have to keep their concentration for the next 10 minutes. It's very easy to make a mistake. We haven't seen that many contact-induced spins or something. Many spins were just people out-braking themselves or overdriving the car, and that can still happen here in this race. So again, Ukic 1 second faster than Smedegaard now, so that's looking like a tough challenge to beat him. Lucas and Smedegaard setting almost identical lap times now. So it's Lucas who might start and catch Steve Carmen here, the Handicap leader. Let's go on board with Tony Ukic from the wingman or swingman. Let's see how he strings his laps together. To the main straight and over the line. 136.6 was that last lap. Let's see where he goes now. Slides it into turn 1, gets on to the power early and fully over that curve here. All the way to the left. Turned in over the curb and then hard braking to get those two apexes. And then here, as I already mentioned, most important part of the track, getting a good exit. All of the road available. Get onto that back straight and gain as much time as we can. Lucas got past Carmen, so we made a mistake because that gap was about 5 seconds. Into the power early, and as I said here, keeping your minimum speed up and getting onto the power early is key here to get through this section quickly and make this corner as wide as you can. Once you see the exit onto the power, leaving an inch on the table here. Then Ukic again braking hard, throwing it in again perfectly over the curb. And then the braking, and then perfect apex on the last turn, and then getting it turned in for the real last turn and over the line for 136.2. Fastest lap of anyone on the track right now. So Tony Ukic proving his worth. And we have Pavlacek very slow. Smedegaard got past, and Pavlacek down to 4th position. So not sure what happened there. An invalid lap here in his last lap, so he clearly had some kind of issue. They were not very close, Smedegaard and Pavlacek, so I'm assuming that was a driver mistake, as I was predicting. So Smedegaard now in 2nd position, 14 seconds back of Tony Ukic. So that will be a tough task to get that closed down in 6 minutes if Tony doesn't make any mistakes. Radek Pavlacek dropped back behind Greg Metcalf now. Let's see if he can take the fight to him. In the AM Cup, it's Steve Carmen in 6th overall in the lead, and Ben Reynolds in 8th overall in 2nd, and Clive Britton in 10th overall in 3rd position. Ben Reynolds dropping back. Can continue unharmed. This looks like the closest battle on the track right now, Metcalf versus Pavlacek. Once again, if you want to see Pavlacek's on board, you can go to the link that is in the comments section of the stream. Through turn 1 here for Metcalf and Pavlacek. Times dropping into the low 37s now, so tires starting to wear out again. 4 minutes to go in this race, so those last laps will be tough on the warm tires, especially for example Steve Carman. He's only 1 second in front of Simon Fillingham. He pitted as the first driver, I think, before the halfway point of the race, so his tires will be toast already. Let's see if Fillingham can get past for P6 overall. Flat for Metcalf, 137.9 for Pavlacek. So very close. Pavlacek looks to be a little bit faster. And Simon Fillingham and Steve Carman now almost side by side. So will Simon get past and get some good points for the team, as his teammate will win race 2 if nothing scary happens to him. So 2 race wins in the opening round here for Tony Ukic. So I don't jinx him, but it's looking that way, and Fillingham will want to take that 6th position away from Steve Carman to score some better points for the team. Pavlacek also still battling it out with Metcalf. Carman keeping it tidy. Oh, and a spin by Simon Fillingham. So I would have expected that Carman would be struggling with the tires, but it's apparently Simon Fillingham losing grip and having a little spin. He's 3 seconds down now, so let's see if he can close that gap back down. We have 2 minutes to go in this race session. This is for the podium, of course. Pavlacek, if he wants to get that 3rd spot, he will have to try and do it now. We have 1:32 to go. Where is Tony Ukic? He's on the back straight, so this is the 2nd to last lap. 1 more lap after this one also for Pavlacek to get a move on. And try to make a move on with Metcalf now. Let's hope it's not any desperate moves that end in tears, because Lucas is only 6 seconds behind, so any incident here in front will certainly get Lucas very close to a podium spot. Second here is nothing, of course. So on to the last lap for these guys, and also for Tony Ukic and Smedegaard in front. Clive Britton, unfortunately retired from the race. Yes, he is in the pits. Very unfortunate. He was going to take third spot in the AM Cup, but well, a non-finish will not earn you any points here in at RRLeagues.com. So very unfortunate to be retired here at practically the end of the race. So in the AM Cup we have Steve Carman and Ben Reynolds still running. Pavlacek getting closer, closer, closer. Will he make a move? He's too far behind, I think. Or he should sell Greg the dummy here, which he doesn't. Will he still try? That is the question. Let's have a quick look. Tony Ukic here, our race winner in both race 1 and race 2, finishing up his lap. Congrats to Tony Ukic. We move back to this little battle here between our two veteran drivers. It looks like Greg will take the podium spot here. In this case, Simon Fillingham gets past Steve Carman here on that last lap still. Metcalf keeps it together to take the podium spot, the last podium spot behind Tony Ukic, and of course Magnus Smedegaard was a bit lonely there at the end, but a very strong performance in his first two outings here at RRLeagues.com. Vlastimir Lucas over the line in 5th, Simon Fillingham, as we said, getting past Steve Carman, will finish in 6th position. And Steve Carman here, first in the AM Cup and 7th position overall. Colin Barker in 8th and Ben Reynolds in 9th position. Colin Barker still missing his front nose, I think. Yes, he is. Ben Reynolds with a front nose cone will finish in 9th and last position, but 2nd in the AM Cup. So good points for him in that championship, and also finishing on the lead lap, so good for the Ironman standings. That's it for this race session. Tony Ukic again fastest lap, and a race win here at race 2. Smedegaard in 2nd, Metcalf in 3rd spot to round up the top 3 of this second race of the series. So that all that is left for me is to thank you to watch this stream. If you liked it, hit a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel to get notified of any further live streams or videos that we post. This streaming for the Race Room Junior Series will take us every 2 weeks. So we will see each other every 2 weeks for a stream of this series. On Sundays, as I said, we have a stream of every 2 weeks of our Crew Chief DTM 92 series, and coming Sunday, season 31 SummerSlam is starting. Sign-ups look a little bit low at the moment, but that's your chance to get in and prove that you can handle 6 different cars in one championship and be the king of them all. And if you're more into R Factor 2, just join us as well for our Flat 6 series. Already 28 drivers signed up for that series, if my counts are still correct. So 8 spots left there, so sign up for that, and we will see you very, very soon at rrleagues.com. If you have any questions, remarks, you can contact us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, or our website. So thank you for watching. See you in 2 weeks time, and bye bye.